remember about them is they had no fear. They were the best bayonet people in the world.
Hi, I'm Kylie, just another Army vet, and welcome to another reaction video. Today we're talking about Outpost Harry, which was a battle that took place during the Korean War. Outpost Harry was actually a very small American outpost that was located in the Iron Triangle, which is not far from the capital city of South Korea, Seoul. Let's get to it.
Our positions were overrun by a superior number of forces. By the time the artillery stopped, we raised our heads to see what was going on. They were in the trenches and were on top of us.
They're talking about the Chinese, of course.
We had, before the Chinese got there, we'd been subjected to artillery fire for well over an hour. And it intensified, and then the Chinese were coming. And it, I think, was around 2 o'clock in the morning when they finally breached the trenches and got in.
We weren't expecting that they'd ever get in the trenches because I had defensive fire, just kind of a wall of steel clear around our position.
Lieutenant Brown.
Just to give you some perspective on this battle, this outpost was located on the top of a small hill. It only had a command post, a forward observation bunker, some trenches, and a few other fighting bunkers as well.
He was in a bunker, a heavy bunker, and he says, Davis, you hold this hill with all cost, if that means your life.
They just walked over the dead and right into the trench, right into the trenches. That's when the hand-to-hand comebacks occurred. You say, well, a lot of guys are leaving this earth tonight.
I thought that I was going to die. Be brave. Don't be a coward. Whatever's going to happen, be brave. Do your job. Don't be afraid. And that was going through my mind. Don't be afraid. And I was praying.
While I was going on that hill, I always saying Psalm the 23rd. I always say that, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
It was like a slaughterhouse where there's exposed bone parts and body parts spread all over the top of the hill. You couldn't walk without walking on them.
When we learned that the Chinese were in the trenches and that we needed to do something drastic, we had artillery called in on ourselves.
We used to laugh about that, you know, if everything goes to pieces on you, you could always call in fire on yourself and get it over with. And
I can't imagine how desperate they were to actually do that.
But I thought privately, could I do that? Could I call in fire on my own position and my own men? But, you know, I made that decision without even thinking twice.
And I could see the Chinese jumping across. About that time, a Chinaman crawled right above my head, and I saw him come over. And I was kneeling and had my carbine in my hand. I shoved the bayonet up, caught him in the neck, whipped right through his head. I flipped him over, pulled my bayonet out.
The trenches were filled up with American and Chinese soldiers. Some of them are still alive, hollering for help, and but we had to walk over them and keep going to clear the hill out.
That's the kind of warfare that an infantryman goes through, and it's hard to describe. Those things you never forget, and that's what makes the difference between an infantry battle and any other kind. And Harry, I think, was the essence of being an infantryman.
He was killed, Sergeant Hanna. He was killed at the bottom of the hill. A damn good soldier he was. A nice person. It shouldn't have happened to him. He was shot in the head. He was shot in the head. I still see that every day I see that. I was right behind him when he was shot. And we put a blanket over him. We took a rifle with a bayonet, stuck it behind him, put his helmet on it. And that's how we left him when we went off the hill. A blanket, a rifle, and a helmet.
This is your job. You're a soldier. And God will forgive you no matter what you do up on the hill.
Infantrymen have already spent their time in hell. When they die, they go straight to heaven.
The Chinese were coming down the trench to where our outpost bunker was, our command post. And from there inside, we were firing out the door to keep them out.
They threw a grenade in, and I could hear it sizzling, but so much junk on the floor, but then there's no way you could ever kick it back out. And when it went off, Richards and Markley dropped.
One of the concussion grenades knocked me out, and I was unconscious for quite a while.
Then they threw another grenade in, and this one knocked me down, and I fell partly on Markley, and of course he was unconscious, and Richards was unconscious, and